Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy Podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders, thanks to Sportsbet. I'm Roy, I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
Coach of Calvinator.
Coach of Calvinator.
Tell you what, you got more smugness than Warnie.
More than Dog's jumper over there at the moment.
And that is a pretty smug jumper.
Too right it is.
It sucks.
It sucks. What, that
When
he's
he's
good?
going well.
He is going well,
It really
too.
does. He's pretty happy with
That was a pretty
himself.
thumping score.
That's a thumping
We
score.
might get on to that
Well,
in a minute.
about our finals, because that's what it's all about. So, Calvinator,
God.
Yep.
you got to win by 185 points
That's a
in the
smacking.
final.
That's a smacking.
It's Youngie.
Yeah.
Poor old Youngie, he was tracking it closely down here
He
as well.
was, yes. He came over and had a look at what my trades were.
He was. Look, he was. He actually came. He didn't want to come and talk to us.
No,
he just
no.
wanted to track
tell you
what
what,
moves you were making.
He was the sharpest dressed guy here at Pig
Oh,
Park.
wasn't he ever?
Did look good.
Yeah.
Oh, go on. Tell the story.
Which one?
The kid that wanted a photo.
The Hawthorn fan. Jeez.
Go on.
Tell him,
Oh,
Dog.
there was a Hawthorn fan.
Yep.
Head to toe in the Hawks gear. Oh, can I come and have a photo? Yeah, no worries. Just with us three, not with Youngie, not with the former
Youngie
Hawk
Youngie
champion.
took the photo.
And a young had to take it. That's bad.
Premiership
Thanks,
Hawk
Quinn Young.
hero.
Legend.
Thanks, Youngie.
Right, anyway, so, Cal, you got up there.
Oh, I did.
And the Warn Dogs, oh, no, I didn't play in Classic because I was already through. Roy, you played in Classic, though.
I'm on a double Mad Monday. I'm going to
Oh.
be super smashed because I got knocked out of both. So I got knocked out by 29 points
Yes.
In Classic.
in Classic. And I'm not going to go into it in detail. I'll give you a brief summary of it later. But 29 points, you will not believe the unique players I had to lose by 29 points. It is phenomenal.
So that was,
sums up my year.
Foxy over in Florida.
In Florida.
Yeah.
It's even, you
doesn't
can't even watch the
can't
damn
even
games
coach.
properly.
No.
Ah,
And he's a Carlton supporter too. That
makes him all right.
But Foxy, though, Cal,
Yeah.
you smashed him in
Yeah.
our draft, which has actually been a bit disappointing because it means that he's not through to try to organise our draft weekend in
that's
Florida.
right.
Okay.
Damn it.
I didn't sleep well last night because I'm trying to work out what we're doing for draft next year and how we're going to do the draft order and all this sort of stuff.
Because you're going to win it.
It is so in the bag, it's not funny. I have a guy called Luke Ryan, Warren,
Yes.
with a vice captain on him
Why did you VC him?
because of the Scale of Hardness. The Scale of Hardness, mate. We'll talk more about that later.
50.
151, in fact, yeah.
That's pretty good.
In fact, 302.
So you defeated Foxy by 273.
Smacked him.
That is a ridiculous margin.
Basically pantsed him.
107's a lot as well, Roy.
It is. Yeah, my team was bad. Very bad. I was on top of the ladder all year and I'm out in straight sets.
So the Dogs defeated the Destroy
Kissed,
team.
as usual.
Kissed?
Kissed.
How's I kissed?
I'll tell you one way you were kissed by Dangerfield laid out and I'm sitting there on the couch, get a notification. The game had already bloody started.
Oh.
The
What's
risk-
with that?
You wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Yes, I would
anyway.
have.
Would you?
Yeah, I had 107 I could have had. Or 100 and whatever Woods. Is that his name? No. That's Spud for St Kilda. I could have swapped him on. That's what I would have done. Unbelievable.
Instead of the 80 that you had there.
No, I didn't have an 80 there.
You would have taken on. You would have taken Wood on for an 80.
What, for his third score over 90, fourth in a row? I think I would have, Dog, yeah.
Oh, well, I tweeted it out before the game started.
I can just feel
yes.
the tension in the
Yeah.
room.
He's not happy. He's actually
not
very
happy.
I'm
grumpy.
not happy, and I'm only here because I have to be, to be honest.
So the scores then, we'll start with yours, Roy. What was it?
21.88. That's all right.
Yep.
Solid. Drop down again. Pushing towards 4,000. Having a good time.
Having a good time.
22.39, disappointing for me. That was my first ranking drop in a long time.
You're choking.
Yeah.
Full on choke.
40 positions down to
So much for a hat.
619th. Oh, Brett Ratton. If Brett Ratton hadn't done what he did, I would actually probably be in the top 100 now, and people were actually going, what colour highlights would you want as well?
Oh, really?
Not really.
I don't know about that.
I scored 23.86.
That's
and
a good
it rocketed me inside the top 1,000.
That's a good score.
I know. You're in the top 1,000.
Yes. I'm up there with the big boys, Roy.
For the first time again.
Yeah, well done.
I've got
You've
2
been-
weeks to get past Dog.
Nah, won't happen.
It will.
It cannot happen. I will be hacking the system if that happens.
Here it is! That's what you did, Jenny. You stuck it right up them.
All right, smug boy. Why do you have? Who do you have as your +3?
As my +3, it has to be Of course. Surely we've all got him.
Who?
Max. Max gone. 152.
That was a good effort.
Good start to the weekend.
The dinner plates were nowhere to be seen.
No.
He was plucking marks left, right, and centre. I think he had 10. He had 30 touches. He was smacked
everywhere.
up those
Why didn't you
opposition
VC?
rucks, something chronic. That's a good call.
He just wasn't in captain calculations, mate.
No. Well, his form hadn't suggested.
Yeah,
but his
had-
ceiling did, and his matchup
Yes, of course.
did.
Yes.
But, yeah, you had good players to come.
Yeah, had some other good ones around it. That's okay. Who'd you go with, Dog?
I'll give my little tick to Lockie Neal for his 117. So a solid score. There weren't really that many massive scores this week for my team, but take that just because he, Roy, I didn't get the green vest probably off the back of that.
What do you mean? What's that got to do
by
with
having
it?
Neil, and also I had him in draft as
Did
well.
you
But
as
I
well?
defeated. So Neil,
God.
because Roy, you traded out Neil this week.
Yeah, to a player that scored more.
Oh, did you?
I'd rest easy with that.
Oh, okay. That's
Who'd you
all
go to?
Goodness me, you're a bully. Now, my
This
team
bear gets poked well enough, and
My
Roy-
team might be down and out. However, my advice is still standing strong and there for the people. So everyone, jumped on Marshall this week, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 3 weeks I've been banging that door down, and
Yep.
well done to Marshall again, 118.
He's good.
Amazing
He's
player.
good.
That was, even though, Dog, like you said, there were some favourable outs by the Cats.
Yeah.
It is still tough to score down there.
Too right it is.
So he did a great job again. So he gets my +3. I'm very proud of him.
It was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen.
Because it's just not acceptable.
I should have had Marshall a couple of weeks ago for that 160.
You should have.
Instead of having Braden bloody Bruce.
3 weeks I've said it.
The
Seriously. And I'm blaming you,
No,
Calvin.
I-
You stitched me up with this.
I would pick Juicy Percy if I had the option. But I had Treloar out, Canelio out, 2 trades, 2 forced trades, and my hands were tied. What a blessing.
He had
60.
19.
It was awful.
19 at half
we
time.
didn't even get to watch this game because we were here
Thank
at Pig Park.
God.
Well, seeing his score and wondering, is there Wi-Fi issues here? Is
No.
Is
Okay.
there 5G network down in Launceston?
What boxes did he tick again this week?
Oh.
He's nearly elbowed Merritt's head off
Yep.
and deserves to be suspended.
That should have been looked at.
So there's
I
one.
don't think it was looked at. I reckon Chris O missed it.
Yep.
Because
so
that
there's
would have
one.
been weeks.
Hopefully it's past the deadline because I might need the big flog one more time.
Yeah.
Now, so he's ticked that box. Form, massive issue. He was hopeless.
Yep.
So he's ticked that box. Is he injured or he got through that one?
His elbow might be sore from
Yeah, exactly
colliding
right.
with
So
Zach.
that
Yes.
was just Prusy to a T.
Yeah. And
Having
obviously,
said that,
he rucked with Briggs.
Your hate, it's a little unjustified in terms
Why?
of this. So that 60-point game, so you're talking like he's always scoring bad and that. That's his only score from a completed game under 85 this year. He's actually
You
been
did put the caveat
really
there that completed
consistent.
game.
Yeah, there's only one asterisk though. There's only that 14, which was an absolute bloody nightmare.
jeez, wasn't it?
However, he's actually been really consistent apart from that bad score.
He's a
In
jet.
playing.
He's a jet.
When he's playing.
Yeah.
He's not.
Every week you're on a tightrope.
So
He's
We were
definitely
waiting. I was
never
waiting
again.
for that email on
Will-
Sunday evening to come through to say, and Braden Bruce, GWH Giants, has been cited for this
1 week.
misconduct,
Yeah, agree.
and he just wasn't on there at all.
will he be dropped?
He's a chance.
Of course he's a chance.
'Cause that-
Everything about him.
He's
Yeah.
too right.
Cal, your lyrics for
Yep.
the Never Again list song
Yep.
of Bruce just
Well, you
rings
should have
true.
listened to it,
a
mate.
mate of mine with a great knowledge of AFL football said he is just not built for the top level.
No, I don't
like
want that.
he's just not the package.
Yeah.
Like his best is unbelievably competitive
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
top
yeah.
level.
A human
but the
wrecking
rest
ball.
of the things just don't add up for the big fella.
No.
No.
All right,
No,
my negative
well
3.
deserved,
Yes,
Warren.
good one, Dog.
Well
My
deserved.
negative 3 is going to be to Zach Merritt.
Oh my God.
55. Okay. Yes, you get tagged. Doesn't mean you just pack up shop and sit down and
No.
have a sulk. When other people get tagged, they lay 10 tackles.
Yeah.
He laid 1.
One.
120-point turnaround.
One
last week.
tackle. 1 mark.
Here we were sitting here last week in shock thinking and saying to Matt, how the hell
Yes.
did you justify flicking him the C?
Yes.
When this sort of thing can happen to Zach?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable's right. Okay, my negative 3 goes to, and I'll just flag it now. It could have been basically my whole midfield, right? You listen to... I swanned into my elimination final more preparing for this week.
Yeah.
Right? Hence why Neil was already out. I was trying to stay a step ahead.
Yep.
Listen to these unique players in this matchup. You go, how are all them unique? Is this team really in the finals that you played against? These guys didn't turn up for me, I lost by 29.
This is Jonty's team.
Yeah.
From Orlando.
Right. So,
Hey, John.
these are the guys that didn't turn up from the mids that I needed to. Jack Steele, Callum Mills, Took Miller, Patrick Cripps, Tom Mitchell, and Zach Merritt.
He didn't have any of them.
Nope.
Go, John.
That's just ridiculous.
It is.
They couldn't get 29 points. They couldn't hit 100. However, I'll pick on my old mate because it wouldn't be right if I was going out of the season and not blaming Connor Rosey for his 64.
He was injured. He got hurt.
But are you injured if you take a Mark of the Year contender?
That was a good hanger.
Exactly, and that's when he was apparently injured. So he was very proppy. I'll give him that. And he was on track for I think it would have been his 5th ton on the trot.
He's good.
But he went down obviously in the second quarter and never recovered. 64. I needed 29 more from him. Please.
Now, Cal.
Yep.
Tom Stewart.
Oh, my goodness,
Tom. 4 points at half time.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good at all.
Weren't you trading him in,
46
Dog?
for the game. I was very close to doing it.
Would have been a different story today, wouldn't
Off
it?
the back of Calvinator telling me how much of a must-have he was.
I don't think I said must have.
Just like Mark on Facebook,
Mark's
this one was.
Called him out, has he?
A must-have according to the traders 2 weeks ago. Never, all capitals.
Wow.
I repeat, never, again, all capitals,
Again.
listen to their advice again. Burnt too many times. That's on your head, V8.
I hope he traded him in. He must have.
So,
He's not happy.
God, it's a must-have that none of us got.
Yeah.
That's rare. Now, the thing is, Mark, I remember
He's Mark.
how all-in Cal was on
He
that.
was very all-in.
He got a
and
98
he was,
or something.
Yeah, it was a good score. It was very convincing. One, I don't think anyone said must-have.
No.
And 2, I challenge you to find someone who would not have suggested to look at
the
Tom
coaches all
Stewart to
have
bring
him.
in. Why an underpriced premium like that who sits in the rolling 22?
Yep.
Why would... No, that's unfair. I take criticism when we stuff up. And if you said must have, wrap over the knuckles
Okay.
for that. However,
The bloke's going
I
for the
think that's a
highlights
little
that got
bit...
him.
I think that's a little unfair. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So how bad are we when the two guys coming 1 and 2 in the whole comp have Tom
I just
Mitchell?
don't
So
Tom
you could
Stewart.
stitch them up and they won't win the Hilux based on what you said, Kev.
Well, they're doing all right, aren't they?
Now, there's some bad fantasy podcasts going around. I
Too
know,
right.
but I don't even think that any of them would have said that Tom Stewart
Agree.
isn't a void.
Yeah, agree.
Don't know.
Thanks for the feedback, though.
The
Love
teams
getting feedback.
at the top, though, the top 100. So remember, you can get yourself a fantasy hat if you finish overall at the end of the season inside the top 100. Currently, it's 45,559 points. So Brad's Blazers are sitting up there at the top.
nerve-wracking.
At the moment. The gap gets bigger for the Dogs on that. So 2,290 points that increased by. You needed that to get there. But Cow, you breached.
I'm coming. I'm knocking on the door, Roy.
Go for it,
I'm
Cal.
knocking on the door.
You come home strong. You come home strong.
Too
That's
right, I will.
massive. We did catch up just earlier with James, the coach of Shuckers, who is currently sitting in second spot, not far behind the leader. It is definitely the business end of the season, boys, where, the race to the Toyota Hilux is hot.
It's heating up.
It's real hot.
It's
Yes.
real hot. And we've got the guy in second place at the moment on the line. This is James, the coach of Shuckers. James, welcome.
Thanks, Monty. How are you all?
Good,
Very
mate.
good, mate.
We're good. How are you? Is probably
Yes.
the question, where currently you're sitting 112 points behind Matt, the leader. How are your weekends panning out, and probably the week and every minute of your day?
Yeah, no, it's definitely taken up a lot of my thoughts and getting a bit nervous up the top now. Business end. See how we go.
So only 112 points. You
Yep.
would be totally comfortable with that and the fact that you can run that down, wouldn't you?
I don't know. Like, it feels 112 feels like it's a gap that if I get things right, I think it's doable. But it's probably need things to go my way, I reckon, just because how tight out and like how many, and maybe you need a little bit more pods. We'll say.
So how's that looking at the moment going into the weekend? Because I'm sure you're writing it down and following every move Matt's making, and then probably the other guys around you. What's it looking like between you and Matt at the moment? Points of difference?
I think we've got three different at the moment. So I might need to play a little bit of a risk in the last 2 weeks, see if we can chase it down. But yeah.
So have you taken on any risks lately? Like, so last week when Matt went that captain of Merritt,
yes.
You didn't go with Laird as captain either that week.
No, I didn't. I was actually looking at Merritt the whole weekend. Then I changed the last minute.
Oh.
So it was a bit annoying, but live and die by the decisions. It would have been nice, but I think I took two. Last week I brought in Zorko, which is a big risk, especially with his injury history and whatnot. But so far so good. Only 2 rounds to go, and maybe he can pump out a couple nice puns would be good.
I'm looking at one of his unique players here, Roy, and he's got the Berg.
Ah, does he?
Now, done a little bit of research here, dog, as I do. Now, the Berg this week, he plays against the Bulldogs.
Oh.
Coming up with some bulk marks, I reckon. So, the fact that Luke Ryan last week had 15 marks for 150, Jordan Clark had 10 marks for 111. He could have a day out if he's in defence.
This is pivotal.
Yes, it is.
Because if he's in defence, this could bridge that gap.
It will bridge the gap.
Significantly.
Yes.
What do you think about the Berg? Are you confident he'll play back this week?
Yeah, I think he's got that role. Probably more he got chucked forward, I reckon, just to dodge a bit of the tag the other week, the Ryan Clark tag.
Yep.
But I reckon his role's down back, and if he, the Dogs are known to give up some points to defenders.
Yeah, he's in for a monster.
15, 20 marks would be nice.
It will, mate. The Scale of Hardness will not let you down. Now, I'm also looking here. You looped in Elijah Hollands last week.
Yeah, for 118, and I made the only decision that didn't really benefit me.
Yes,
taking off Marshall.
You took off Marshall instead of Bontempelli. What was the plan there?
Well, I just thought there's Geelong and Geelong's tough matchup for anyone. I don't really, it doesn't matter who you are.
Yep. Yeah, it's fair enough. It is a red team, Roy, so you can see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I looked at the scale and...
Of course you did.
Thought,
yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
I didn't think he would go above 118, and I was right, but he didn't go below it either.
It's all right.
I guess the big thing from that too, he was probably lucky, if you want to call it that, by having Segler and Blixar's laid outs as well. Did that make your heart sink a little bit when you saw that?
Yeah, it did. But then, I was thinking, Stanley, he's pretty tough to score against, but just got that one wrong, unfortunately.
So 2 weeks ago, what are your plans then? You don't need to reveal your moves because I'm sure Matt will be listening in trying to see that.
Oh, yeah, he's listening.
You're going to sort of chase, you're going to have a bit of a crack, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, 112 behind, 2 weeks to go. 57 this week, 56 next week, and we win it by 1. That's the ideal. So I'll probably look to play a bit of a risk, bring in a couple pods. I'm not entirely sure where I'm looking at. Maybe midfield, maybe defence.
Yeah.
But I've got to risk it now, I think.
What year was that, dog, when somebody bought him like a Jeremy Cameron for the last last round? Someone like Trent.
It was the match-winning move.
Changed everything. Yeah.
Josh Kennedy this week.
Yes, well.
Yeah, well, how early does the Berg play? Can you flick a V on him? There's getting unique without having to be stupid.
The Berg plays first up on Saturday.
Does he?
So you could. That would be crazy if he comes out with a 160.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
And it's not even chasing by stuffing your team around.
But don't listen to us, mate. You
you do what you're talking about.
Keep going.
Now, James, what's got you up there? Because you told us before that you've been sitting in the top 10 since round 4. Did you just nail a starting team? Is that how you got there? And obviously making the right moves along the way as well?
Yeah, I had a pretty solid team from the start. Like I started players like Brayshaw at M1. That was obviously a great pick. Timmy English in the ruck, which was, great as well. And I avoided the Gordon Grundy situation. So I actually started English and Marshall in the ruck, knowing, Paddy Ryder out for the first couple. And then I kind of had a bit of a plan in place. When Ryder came back, I can go down to Bruce. So that was always in the head, and it kind of came to fruition and worked out well. And that's probably the main difference, I reckon.
How do you feel about Bruce?
I love Bruce. I'd love to get him in my team, dog. I just can't. I've always got forced trades.
James, how do you feel about Bruce?
I love him. Right?
Yeah.
He's a great player.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Good luck, mate. Big couple of weeks ahead, and we're excited to see how this all finishes in the race to the Toyota Hilux.
Yeah, it'll be good. Hopefully, I'm talking to you boys in a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
See how we go.
Thanks for tuning in, James, to our dog's grooming session.
Well, I might have to hit up James with a couple of questions.
Yeah,
from my
I
team.
bet you will.
Maybe for next year.
Yeah.
Roy's already into 2023 mode at the
Bloody
moment.
oath I am. So expect me on the phone, mate. I'll be there.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
fellas. Go well.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, James. Appreciate your time.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
Bit coming through the news. Big one will be Patrick Cripps and what happens there. I think he will be suspended by the MRO.
Okay.
Because of that sort of hit on Archie that he had. Archie got subbed out. Cow, you think he'll be suspended?
I think he will, yes.
Roy.
Do you want to know what happens?
Okay.
Would you like to know?
Yes,
Some people
please.
might be listening to this after this happens. And,
Right. He'll get 2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
It will be challenged.
Right.
It will be overturned.
Why?
Oh,
Because there are so many factors in his favour here.
okay.
If the ball's in the air and you are in the air and launch for the ball, your options are very minimal because you are in the air. You
Can't
can't
change
do a
straight,
lot
yep.
of things.
Yep.
Now, initially he went for the ball and then there's a body coming towards him. Do you want to leave yourself open just to get smacked yourself? You have to protect yourself.
Yep.
So given the situation, he will get off, and rightfully so. The outcome with the concussion, shocking. I'm all for protecting the head and things like that.
Well, you used to wear a helmet when you played.
I never wore it. I should have, but I didn't. Now, the fact that happened is just unfortunate in a very high-impact collision sport.
Yes.
So he will get off. So don't panic, owners like myself. We're going to go through a little roller coaster,
Yep.
but we're going to come out all good.
I think we need to be planning to not be with Patrick Cripps this week.
Yeah,
Cow,
right.
Kissed ahead of your time. Got rid of him 2 weeks ago.
I got rid of him for his 120 and his 140.
Connor Rosie's another one that we might have to plan to be without. So, Roy, you got your -3, but that sprained knee.
Yeah.
He played on.
Yeah.
Took that hanger as well. It's definitely one to watch this week.
Do you want to know what happens there as well?
He doesn't play.
Out.
Right.
Connor Rosie will not play.
It's interesting for him. He plays the last game in Melbourne on the Sunday.
So he gets named, you
Oh,
reckon?
that's interesting. He played his last game for me last week.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Good.
See you, mate.
Braden Bruce. So,
Oh, the top 3. Yeah. This is not going well.
I think nothing at the MRO. So now we just wait to see what else he can do
Oh,
this week.
he'll get
to be out.
dropped. You want to know what happens there, Kev?
Yes, please, Roy.
He gets dropped.
Okay.
Is he a must trade?
Look, I don't say must anything.
No.
Hey. Yes, he is.
Now, the Cats, they had a bit of drama there on Saturday night with, Dangerfield was a very, very late out,
Oh.
which made Roy a little bit grumpy.
Very late.
Could have just followed me on Twitter. And
Do you want me to? I'll tell you that dude's name. I'll tell you the guy that was going to score well for me. Sorry, you carry on.
All right,
I'll find it.
Okay. And then, they had Blix, who was managed, and then Seglar was a late out, but then made the Medi sub. Chris Scott.
Yes.
Just makes a mockery of the game. It is ridiculous.
This will not be a one-off. We've still got 2 weeks of listening to this coming.
Yeah.
So, and my mate, old Mitch Duncan, he'll be the next one, I reckon.
I hope so. What?
Did
Now,
that come out?
it was Mason Wood, and I still would have lost. Don't get me wrong. But he's 102. He's gone 106, 93, 95, and then 102. Right. So he also scored over 90 versus the Cats. I'd researched this earlier this year. So do not ever tell me that I would not have taken on a 70.
If you were a dedicated coach,
Big Woody,
if you were a dedicated coach, you would have known
Big Woody,
that Danger was out.
I know, I was having
So
a
you
sulky
cannot blame anyone
session.
else
But
apart from yourself. Tim Taranto. So he was named out on Friday afternoon with that delayed onset concussion. So
You were kissed with that again. He's been average.
No, he
and
hasn't.
Found out in good time.
In good time, exactly. It was no Cornelio used your trades up.
Don't
Stuff
use
like
your
I put up
trades.
with.
The
Anyway,
thing is
so
with
he'll
him-
miss next week as well. According
Yeah.
to
What
Spike.
for?
With
Still concussion?
You know why?
Oh,
Because
smoke.
he's not going to be at GWS.
Because he's going to be traded. They don't want him. They don't want him playing.
There is a bit going on
There's
there.
a lot going on. He won't play for the rest of the year. There you go. That's a scoop. Team Awesome Sauce Cow just created and made something up.
That was a bad one. All right, let's
It was.
go with Pete Ling. He was subbed out with concussion, so he won't be there next week. Now, Dan Hanbury, didn't see this one coming. Hurt his ankle, got subbed out.
There were people looking
I feel
at him
sorry for
at
it.
that price after his
For
90.
Hannah's.
Yeah.
Because he has been a fantasy gun in the past. 110 average type
And
dude.
his form last week was outstanding for
Oh,
someone
he
that
was
had
an
missed
option.
that much.
If
Yeah.
he got through,
A desperate times
we could
option.
have
yeah.
been a little
But
cash down
goodness
option.
me, we always there's always that thing. Someone's more likely to get injured than someone else.
Yeah.
And no one ever really wants to say it. But with Hannah's,
Yeah.
come on.
He does have a 4 in front of his name, though.
He does. And that's why
Could
the
have been very
temptation
good.
was
Very
there.
cheap.
Nick Flostone, ribs. So he's incredibly doubtful, is what Dimmer said about that. So, yeah, he won't be there next week, you would think. Now, Nick Dacos, did you watch that at the end of the game? I thought he was in a bit of trouble
Yes.
with that ribs. Geez, that was a cracking game on Friday night.
It was.
So he looked really sore, but he obviously came back on and
Yeah.
turned up.
I know. So I was thinking he wasn't coming back on, but then did you see how eager? God, you forget
yeah.
he's just a
He's
kid,
so good.
standing there yelling to
Yeah.
someone to come off to get back on. I loved that.
Now, he cops a tag this week if he plays, I
Do
reckon.
you think so?
Off Warn Dogs, mate.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Clark.
Who,
Ryan
Clarkie?
Clark, yes. So just keep an eye on that one.
God, he's a good player.
He's so good.
Dacos.
Some of these players, you just need to sort of keep an eye on what happens in the game because a lot are playing out the game,
Yeah.
even though they might be a bit sore. Like Cornelio was another one there, so he had an
Oh, no,
ankle
really?
where he was a bit sore.
Oh,
so,
dear.
Anyway,
Yeah. Oh well.
one to watch.
Take it as it comes.
Magoo's news, not much to talk about from you, except our mate Steenie kicked 2 snags.
Oh,
did he
scored
really?
83.
Don't mind.
He wants to reinvent himself as a forward now.
He's a versatile player. He can
You're
score
right, he
down
is.
back. He can score up forward. Get him in.
right.
For Bruce.
Footscray, they had a big 123-point win and some massive scores there for some of the doggies with Steph having 138.
Steph, what?
McComb, Roy, your
Oh,
boy,
my boy.
133. Hunter, who I've noticed waiver wire, you've got him, dumped him,
Yeah.
waiting for him to come in.
No, I picked him up on the back of the In the Mix article.
Oh, right. And Shaki even kicked 7 goals, had 126. Big game. Tom Campbell, could he come in this week just for reward?
This is what he's done all year.
33 hit-outs,
Yeah.
2 goals, 28 disposals, 8 marks.
Yeah.
For a ruckman,
Because
152 points.
he has just dominated like that all year. If you look back at his VFL numbers, and the thing is, yes, you see that he does kick goals, so he's kicked 2 there, but look at the amount of time he's spending in the ruck if he's getting that many hit-outs.
Yeah.
And that's where he'd chew up way too much time if he was in the ones.
Now, don't forget, you can catch all of the VFL and Waffle games on the AFL website, afl.com.au, and the AFL official live app, so you can be checking those out, especially when some of these games start in the morning.
Oh, yes.
Just watching one morning.
Footy all day.
Full
Footy
day,
all day, mate.
That's a great thing.
Hi guys, Sarah Ollie here from the AFL Exchange podcast. You can grab this show every Monday night with myself, Riley Beveridge and Cal Toomey. Plus catch the brand new Fresh Drop on Thursday mornings with Exchange Extra. We are delving into all the things that matter in the footy world, so join us as we get to the bottom of the issues the fans want answered on-field and off-field. The serious and also the not-so-serious stuff. That's AFL Exchange. Find us wherever you listen to your podcasts and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
All right, let's have a look at what we're thinking about for this week. Bit of strategy, bit of trading strategy as we've got on. Some people are trying to rank as high as they can. Obviously, it is league finals, prelim finals this weekend with our classic sides. What you might be thinking about doing with that. So, some people like to go, I want a point of difference.
Yes.
Is this the time that you can do that more than other times in the year?
We've
100%
only got
it
them
is.
for a couple of weeks.
And that's it.
And the points of difference are guys that I don't think you want to chase anything too stupid. But there's guys, for example, that can be a little injury prone.
Yep.
That if you were asking them to play for over a month straight, I'd be tentative, hesitant.
Yep.
But someone like, and the guy that springs to mind is Aaron Hall.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of weeks.
Yes.
It's cheap.
You might as well have a crack at it.
Has a ceiling, good matchup this week in Adelaide, and then goes into the Gold Coast. So 2 good games for him.
Yep. Like Zorko, you picked him last week.
I got Zorko last
and
week.
he's super cheap. He's now only at 600.
Yeah,
he's
very,
still
very
cheap.
cheap. So exact same thing. He's only here for a 3-night stand.
Yes.
Yeah, so
And
that'll
that's
get me
okay.
through. That'll get me through.
Yeah.
That's all he needs to do.
So where would you try to find a unique if you were in a matchup? Because a few teams do look pretty close, and we spoke to James earlier, and pretty much he was like, they've got about 3 differences or whatever. Like, are there some things that you would take on to try to have a little bit of a different player?
Well, it obviously didn't work for me. I did it a week out, but as I said, I thought I had this in the bag so easy, my head-to-head this week, that I was trading out Neil, who's a highly owned player. He's nearly owned by 50% of the comp.
Yep.
I was doing that in preparation, really, for this matchup this week.
Yep.
So I wanted people, maybe in luxury trade time, questioning whether Neil should go, but I'd already done it and was trading further around that to get ahead of the game. So someone like Neil, coming off 117, a good average for the year. He's been the highest scoring player for a year before. Matchup doesn't look ideal. Would you get rid of him this week?
100%. I'd like to trade him this week. Thing is, though, bringing in a unique isn't always the best option. You could be getting rid of somebody
Just
who
to
is highly
match up.
popular.
Yeah.
So, for example, a guy like Neil,
Yes.
who will be tagged this week, he plays Friday night. Another guy is even Took, who has to play against Geelong. And we saw, was it Jack Steele last week, drop under 100 for the first time like in 7 weeks.
Sure
because
did.
it's Geelong. Geelong are tough. So a guy like him will not probably have the day that he normally has.
So, an elite move would have been getting rid of a Zach Merritt off 172 when we probably thought that he was going to cop the attention and probably didn't think he was going to be 55 bad attention, but they're the sorts of moves that could actually
Definitely
get you a
flagged
win
the
over
attention,
someone else if you've got that tag flag that's there.
Because that's even like the boys who are coming 1 and 2, they've only got like 2 or 3 players different.
Yeah.
So to make that even better, they're going to have to do some creative little moves there if they want to get the car.
Interesting. Other creative things that you can do, Cow,
What's
is use
Table. Cow scale of hardness.
Oh, I don't want to put the pressure on myself, Warren.
Tell us what it's about.
But this
to
will
start
make
with.
or break people's seasons right here.
It will.
Because I think we need to be more mindful here of tags.
Yes.
Okay, so St Kilda at the moment, they run with 2.
Yeah.
So they have Windhager, who will go to Neil, and then Owens as well, who
Did a good job.
he went
did a great
to
job.
Stewart last
Yeah.
week. So when you are bringing in these guys, and you've got to look ahead to what's coming up. So Neil has St Kilda into Melbourne. Yeah. Okay. And then you look at somebody like this, and I'm bringing Brayshaw in this week.
Yeah.
But he goes West Coast into GWS. Now, GWS are running with a couple of tags at the moment.
Hang on. Did you say you're bringing in Brayshaw this week?
I'm thinking about it.
I don't think he should be allowed to.
Look, I think you support him for finally coming around.
What? He didn't even get his line last week. He owes me a carton. Remember that?
We lined that well, by the way, didn't we?
for
What
those
was it, 2 off?
For those,
109 he scored.
109
and
was
the
it?
line was 110. Remember you gave him the line of
Bloody
110? You owe me a carton.
You should have just said where you said he won't score a ton or something like that. I reckon you must have
Don't
said.
talk like that. I don't talk like that.
That was an elite by us.
It was great. A great line.
Good job.
So anyway,
You're
looking
working for a
ahead.
bookmaker.
Yeah. Looking ahead at people with good matchups. So I don't mind Doherty, who plays Melbourne this week. We know what they can give up.
Yeah.
They give up the most uncontested marks. Then he rolls into like a Collingwood.
Oh, wow.
So 2 good games for him in a row. I'm looking at defenders here. So the thing is, though, you just need to make it. What about old mate Tom Stewart? Could you do that? Of course you could. Must have. Must have player. So he goes Gold Coast into West Coast.
You 100% could launch into
you
Tom
can.
Stewart
Yeah.
off the back of his 40.
He's cheaper.
I don't think he'll
would
get
be.
tagged again this year.
No, neither do I.
Despite the fact that now, for the rest of his career, he is vulnerable because people will look back to that game and the impact he didn't have. So he might get tagged a little more in the future, but this next 2 weeks he's safe.
Agree. What about Liberatore? So Liberatore for the Bulldogs, he will be tagged this week by someone from GWS, whether it's Lockie Ash or Perryman.
He's the one that they'll go to?
Well, I reckon he's the one they go to.
They do. Everyone, and rightfully so, just recognises what he does inside, and it sets up those other blokes. So I guess if you take that out of the machine, it's it hurts.
Let's have a look at who you could get rid of, if you want to be a little bit.
So the other side of the scale, this is the red part.
So Zach Merritt's got Port Adelaide. Okay, now his numbers against Port Adelaide are through the roof.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
his projected score's massive.
Yes.
When I looked at that.
So he's got a career average of 115 against them from 10 games.
It's massive.
It's huge.
He's got the highest projected score in my team with 113.
Yep.
So
However, they're the second hardest team to score against this year. And then he goes into Richmond.
where's that game being played?
That's under the roof, which probably suits him better.
Has Drew been doing a bit of tagging?
Well, and
Because I would just put Drew straight on him and say wear him like a glove.
Drew didn't tag last week,
Yeah.
but he obviously can and probably will this week as well. So
10
that's
games, 114.7.
Yep.
That's significant.
It's
massive.
ridiculous.
I
I-
think he gets tagged this week.
Off the back of that,
Yeah.
we always say, if you show that you can be tagged, then why not get it again?
Yeah.
And if Drew's not doing it at the moment, then it just takes a tap on the shoulder. GWS have 2 deemed hard games in a row. Now, we probably don't have many of those guys anyway, but if you held Taranto, he's out next week anyway. But I don't think you'd be bringing anybody in, considering that they play the Dogs under the roof, and then they've got Freo, which are 2 red teams.
Yeah, it's
so we can
tough.
just put a line through the GWS guys for the rest of the year. However, would you consider a guy like Lockie Whitfield? Okay, off the back of course, plays the Bulldogs. Ryan last week with that 151 from 15 marks. Jordan Clark, 111, 10 marks. Chapman, 95 with 11 marks. So,
And he was good last week.
and he's coming off 112 with 8 marks. So the matchup for him this week
He's
is
going to
really
have another good game. He's
You
going to
would
play
think
well.
so.
Yeah, you would definitely think so.
What about Rucks, Roy?
Oh, the Rucks.
What's your rolling 22 rucks?
Max? No, he's still second to Marshall. Yeah, I'm still a Marshall man, but
Speakino.
well, I think so.
He's struggling.
But does he make your forward line?
Well, he's only on the verge of that as well. It's quite tight, but yeah, he's probably there.
What do you have? He had a ton, though, didn't he, on the weekend?
Yeah, he did. He just maybe 100 or 101, something like that. So he's certainly up there in the mix,
100.
and people would rightfully be laughing at me there saying Max definitely deserves number 1 over Marshall. But you look back, you look at Marshall's body of work over, say, the last 7 weeks, and it's only been the last 3 he's been solo ruck, but it's a 7-week stretch where I think he's dropped under 100 on one occasion, and that was like 88 he scored that day. So he's number 1, Max number 2. I don't know where else you want to go. I don't think you go as far as trading some of these blokes out to be unique, do you? Like someone like, and I speak from experience here, Riley O'Brien's, we've known for years how frustrating he is to own. But he turned up on the weekend versus Nick Nat, which probably buys him another week. Then you get through that North Melbourne game. Then he plays Port Adelaide in the grand final.
Yep.
Now, that's versus Teakle.
Yeah.
Nank, the tank.
Nang pumped 130 on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Riley, if you can get to the grand final and you've got him, that could be a nice little unique hold for you.
And that's the same if you're thinking about bringing in Marshall this week. So he's up against Brisbane, who one of the hardest teams to score against. In the grand final, he's got Sydney,
Field day.
who are the easiest team for Rucks to score against this year.
Wow. Yeah.
So there you go. Scale. Steering you in the right direction since 2004.
All right. I think it's time for us now to have a look at the most popular moves of the week, thanks to Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Let's have a look at what the coaches are doing.
Okay.
Maybe smarter coaches than us with their moves. So the most popular traded in player, Max Gone, is there. Calvin off the back of his 150.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You got Bailey Smith, Jai Sarong, who's probably the downgrade kind of option of the week. Clayton Oliver, who had a good game last week. And then Rowan Marshall's there as well. So I guess the ins are always going to be about coaches getting the best player and probably someone who scored well last week, which they all look pretty good.
Do you right they do?
Yes, for sure.
So the most popular outs, though, Darcy Cameron's the most traded out player at this moment, which I guess has still got old mate Brodie Grundy on the horizon.
Yes, it's coming.
Maybe. But Patrick Cripps there is the big one. Obviously, people making a move there based on his impending suspension. Ben Keys.
You'll be right,
Ben
mate.
Keys, what's he doing?
Forward,
Jai
that's
Cully
what
and
he's
Braden
doing.
Bruce there are the most popular trade out. Ben
Bruce.
Keys, though, seriously.
Yeah.
Geez, I'm lucky I traded him.
That
out
was a
last
good trade.
week. That was
Good trade.
a nice move. 17 he had.
Can't
at
believe
half.
he played that role again.
I know.
I
It
think
was
they
really
put him
weird.
back in the guts in the last quarter.
Yeah.
And all he did in there, run around like a chicken with his head cut off, giving away free kicks.
It wasn't good.
It was
Wasn't
not
good.
good.
So he's a must trade.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a must.
That is a must.
That is a must.
And you can put that in capitals. Must trade.
Listen, now bust out 130.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, let's have a look at our moves then for this week. And Cal, you alluded to earlier to us that you're bringing in Andy Brayshaw.
I am bringing Andy Brayshaw, Roy.
Nice.
Because he's probably got to win the Brownlow, isn't he, Don?
Yes.
So he's
score more
coming
than
into my
110.
team. But Nick Dacos, it's time to go.
Wow.
Now, he was awesome last week. This is a little move that we've talked about here, but he's got Sydney in Sydney with a potential tag from Ryan Clark. That is a massive concern.
Who else would that tag go to?
I don't know. Ryan Clark's been going to do little back tags.
Yeah.
Who's the most dangerous backman, defender, moving forward for them?
The one having 30-plus touches
It's
every
him
week.
every day.
Yeah.
So I think that might happen, so he can go for me.
Well, I'm moving on Cripps and Bruce. And that gets me in. I'll go Sam Walsh and Jaden Stevenson.
Oh, hang on.
No,
Have you
he
seen his
won't.
form?
What?
Have you
Gosh,
seen his form?
Oh,
You've lost.
Look,
Good
my
matchup
team
this week.
is bad, but at least I try to give good advice.
Yeah.
You just, why do you will not do that. You will not even consider that.
Probably won't. I considered it because that's what came up for me when I was going through. May even go your mate that you're thinking about bringing in, Roy.
Yes.
Here's your trades.
Here's my trades. I am bringing in Luke Parker for that delicious matchup.
Oh, yeah.
And Dane Zorko.
That's the one.
And yeah, good call. And I'll get rid of Prusy and Rosie, holding Cripper because Cripper is playing, as I
Is he
said
really?
earlier.
Okay.
I think you'll find that he will not be playing this week.
Hope is a dangerous thing, Roy. Remember that?
He's playing.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy Official.
All right, let's have a look at some of the Twitter questions. Bales wants to know, what do you think of these trades? Neil and Cripper to Oliver and Darcy Parish.
Darcy Parish.
DP.
Returned all right last
he
week.
He did, yeah. He was very solid.
We tick off the Oliver one because he bounced back with that 139 I think he had against Collingwood, though.
Yeah.
Parish only had a 98. He was their highest scorer.
Yeah.
He's a good name for his price at the moment. Is there a possibility he gets tagged?
Well, he's got Port Adelaide. That's going to be hard for him as well.
It is.
I just don't think Paris is an option. He's the kind of guy, though, if he had a really good matchup over the next 2 weeks, to bring him in for that 2-week little hit.
If he played Collingwood this week,
Yes.
I would tick it off.
Agree.
Against Port Adelaide, I don't think I want to launch into a Parish.
No, so he goes Port Adelaide, Richmond, which should be okay, but Port Adelaide tough.
Josh has got this one here. Thoughts on some pods such as Brad Crouch?
Yes.
Or maybe-
Love
I think
it.
I could spend the money on that.
But
though.
why not?
Yeah, what if you've got cash to burn at this time of year? If you want a unique, you might as well get one who's done it before and is in good form.
He's the number one man based on form. That is ridiculous.
The flag is he's run home. His 2 matchups are tough.
Yeah, Brisbane into Sydney.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's my flag.
Yep.
Once again, if he played Collingwood and someone else easy, I would give it huge tick. But there's my little asterisk.
Now, Josh did say pods with an S because the
yes.
other player he said was Jaden Stevenson.
No, we are not ticking this off.
114 he's had in his last 2.
I don't care what he's had.
And
He's got Adelaide into Gold Coast.
yep, tick, do it.
Really?
He's $626,000.
It's still a big fat no.
I'll tell you what, I've had Jaden before. Heartbreaker.
Yeah. We're not ticking that off.
I
I want it on the record that I am not ticking that off. Warren, are you ticking that? Of course you are, because you just put it in your trades.
Yeah. I'm not ticking it.
No. There you go. You get one grey lead tick from the dog.
All right, Peter wants to know, who do you trade Gone in for? Is it Cameron or Juicy Prusy?
Oh, God.
Wow.
Can you have Cameron hold him even if Grundy plays ahead of Juicy Prusy?
Nah.
Remember Cameron
Look.
burnt us pretty badly last week.
So, Juicy, as much
A couple of
as
weeks ago as well.
as much as Dog hates him and, you know, probably be some sort of defamation lawsuit coming his way.
Yep.
Prusy
Not
has
before I lodge mine.
only 2 scores under 85, and one of them was injured in the first quarter. I think, despite how good Cameron's been, I just think that shared role may not be the best the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Cameron's got Sydney this week, and they are one of the easier teams to score against.
Right.
However, he's coming off a 50.
What did he get the week before that? It was actually 97. So he's gone absolute stinker, 30,
Yep.
97, 50.
52.
And Prusy's not exactly outstanding either. What's he gone? 85, 60, the last 2.
Yep. And he's a suspension waiting to happen.
This is a very tough question. You don't really want either of them moving forward. Can you get rid of both of them? What's the answer there, Dog?
I'm thinking you get rid of Bruce. Less headaches.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to back
That's
that.
where I'm at. All right. The next question here is from Michael. Who do we drop first in the final rounds? Tom Mitchell or Head Tilt McRae?
Look, if Tom Mitchell stays at Hawthorn next year, I would be very, very surprised. The treatment of him, the role, the times he sits on the pine and stuff like that.
I don't think him and Sammy are getting on very well.
I don't think so either. Like, he even, to the point, and I watched him pretty close because we were here at Pig Park, his first quarter was outstanding.
Yep.
I reckon he had just under 40. And then the roles started to change. I think he sat on the bench the end of the third, the start of the fourth, and the end of the game when the game was on the line.
It's ridiculous.
So I'm saying Tom based on that, right?
Yes.
But then Head Tilt McRae was the other one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Head Tilt McRae, did you see his CBAs in that on the weekend?
Yep.
They were disgusting as well.
He's done.
So the thing is, you are trading Tom Mitchell before McRae because McRae's run home is really good.
Yeah.
A couple of green teams.
Yep.
So you hold him for that. But there are huge concerns for McRae moving forward.
He's a guy that we don't really consider at all next year.
No.
McRae, though, he's up against GWS. This year he had 148 against him.
Yeah.
That was one of his best. Last year a 159.
Yeah.
He goes for his 9th straight ton against the Giants this week.
Yeah.
So based on
That's
all
big,
that,
yeah.
he gets the tick over Mitchell, but
100%
they
he
can
does.
both have a cross as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it's Mitchell that goes.
Yep.
All right. Adam wants to know here who to bring in, Steele or Oliver?
See, that's an interesting one.
It is.
They're both very good, of course.
They are.
Steele plays Friday night. He is above Oliver in captains at the moment. So I would be going Steele. We got to forgive him for that 90 last week.
Yeah.
Okay? Because since
I-
coming back
I-
after
I-
the bye.
I don't forgive him for
No,
it.
I know
It's far
you
too
don't.
raw at the moment.
But Geelong in Geelong, that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he still would have averaged 120 since he's come back from
Yeah.
his bye.
Yeah, 2 more players to add here. So you're going Steele over Oliver.
I think so.
Doherty with the defender status, does that add more?
Jeez.
Like, are you preferring
I think
him?
Doc is delicious coming home.
Very good coming home. But then
God,
you're giving
you
up
can't-
No, you've got to go the midfielder. Steele over Doc, if that was the question.
I guess it's who you're losing.
There you go.
Like, if you're losing a defender that could
Yeah.
score fewer points than the midfielder that you're losing, if
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
the trade is.
Yes,
Yep.
and his coach will definitely have to factor that in before pulling the trigger, Dog.
Jack wants to know, and this is the time of the year, these questions are hard. I don't know what he's asking. Taranto, Duncan, or Josh Kelly? Is it to bring in? Is it to trade out?
It's to get out, I reckon.
Well, if it is to get out, it's Taranto
Taranto.
first because he's
Yep.
unlikely to play. But then ranking
Kelly.
them in, then
Kelly can go next.
Then Kelly.
Then Duncan.
Then Duncan. Yeah.
Yep.
If you're bringing them in, is Duncan first then?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, okay. It would be who to get out, would it?
It would be,
it
because
would be.
Duncan...
Did Duncan suck?
Yeah, he hasn't hit 100 in his last 3 now.
Yeah, he still hit like 98 or something. It was big.
It was fine.
Yeah.
But I guess he's not seeing the hundreds that we want at this
And
time of the year.
people are luxury trading.
Yes.
At the moment,
Yep.
so to speak.
But Duncan does have the goal at the Suns, so...
And then he's got West Coast at GMHBA
Yep.
to finish
And
the
that...
season. That will be bruise-free kick to kick.
The concern with him is, will he
Resting
play
that
the
one.
next 2?
Well, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Sam wants to know, is it Baslenka or Parker to bring in?
Right, great question.
Both solid scores
Yeah.
this
It's-
week.
And good runs
scores.
home,
It's
too.
Parker by a mile.
Yeah.
Not a mile, but Parker's been good. 115, 118, 114 in his last 3.
Yeah.
And who's he play? He's got Collingwood.
Yeah. Yeah.
At home.
Yeah. Collingwood, if you're a midfielder playing Collingwood, you're basically getting the tick in every head-to-head.
Too right you are.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. Because if he's scoring 115 without a matchup,
Yeah.
he gets a boost on that.
Yeah, he could do a 130, 140
He could.
this week.
He definitely could.
Adrian stitching Bruce. Who does he bring in? Is it Gone, Parker, or Bont? I'm putting a line through Bont in that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Gone or Parker?
It's a great question. I'm
Give him a
chasing.
great answer.
Yeah, well, I will. I'll chase that Collingwood matchup, and I'm going Parker.
Okay.
What do you think? You're the Max owner, so you are
Yeah.
probably better positioned.
The Max's matchup this week against Pitbull isn't great. Okay, Pitbull is actually pretty good when he's out and about. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that as well. Parker, because of the matchup this week.
Yeah, but I'm like, God, no disrespect to Max. He's bloody gun.
When the scale was done, you looked across the Sydney game to that Collingwood one, and this is why you were bringing these guys in.
I reckon.
That's why we targeted the guys like that. So, and proving that was what Oliver and Petracca, who haven't
Yeah.
been great, what
No.
they did to Collingwood last week. Oliver with his 139 and Petracca with a 120.
Yeah.
That would be their best scores in weeks.
Yeah.
And who'd they do it against? Who Parker's got this week.
This question here comes from Brendan. What's Zorko's run on the scale looking like? Could it be a legit Cripps downgrade so he can finally upgrade F6?
Well, where's he playing? Midfield?
And
Yeah, I think
the
so.
thing is, with his price, it's regardless of what the scale says,
600,
he is
yeah.
still worthy of being that downgrade option because it's so cheap. And what you can do with that cash from someone like Cripper, even though he'll be cleared to play, that is certainly still a play.
So he goes St Kilda, Melbourne. Does he get any attention from either a Windhager or an Owens?
There is the potential for it,
You'd
but
think
I
not.
think unlikely.
Yeah, agree.
So it'll be. So who have they got? So it's Brisbane, St Kilda.
Yep.
Is it? It'll be Rich off half back.
Yep,
and
that'll be
Neil
Owens.
in the middle.
Yep, agree.
I would think.
Yep.
Aaron, who goes first, Crisp or Dacos? And you're saying Dacos, Cow.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you are, aren't you? 'Cause
Well,
that's
I
what
am.
You're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So chippy.
That's because you think Chippy won't be tagged at least.
Yeah,
You
I think
Nick will
Dacos
get
gets
tagged.
the tag ahead of Chippy. So
Yeah, Chippy definitely won't get tagged.
no one's tagging him.
That was a sick sounding chippy.
Chippy.
Well, have you seen the gobble dog? He's
Yeah.
not a healthy looking thing.
You look a bit like the
There's
Gobble
a
Dog.
few similarities between
Didn't he?
Calvin, I reckon, and the Gobbledog. Now, Toby wants to know who goes first out of Sicily and Dale. Cow, you tricked people into getting Dale.
Yeah, did I?
Yep.
That's probably the only time this year the scale has failed. Sick Dog. Let's have a look at his matchups. He goes Richmond into Bulldogs next week.
Oh, that's a hold.
It's a beautiful hold. You hold
Grand
on.
final sick dog, I
Grand
call him.
final Sick Dog with a nice matchup at the end. Very nice.
Sick dog versus the dogs.
Yeah.
120. Incoming.
Easy.
All right. Jack wants to know who comes in for Cripps. Is it Merritt, Steele, Brayshaw, or Oliver?
Whoa. Why are we all trading Cripper?
I think you can cross Zach off that.
In the unlikely event that Cripps is out,
Yeah,
right?
thank you. I can listen again. Right. Give me the names.
Merritt, Steele.
Steele.
Steele, Brayshaw.
Steele.
Tough.
It is tough. So let's just have a look.
And
at
Oliver's in that mix there.
Brayshaw goes. Thing is with Brayshaw, he goes into West Coast this week. He could get a little bit of attention from Xavier O'Neill.
Yeah.
Into GWS, who he will get attention from.
Easy matchup, but not if you've got someone clamped to
So
you.
that'll either be Ash or Perryman in the last round on him.
That could be a bad last round for
So
him.
it's a steal.
It is.
Yeah. I'm not getting Brayshaw anymore, dog.
No.
No.
That's a lockety-lock that
Dear.
last.
Yep.
Billy, who goes first? Keys, yes. He plays against North Melbourne. He played against West Coast this week, so he's got to go.
He goes.
He goes before Chippy or Will Brody.
Yeah, the role is too risky.
Yep.
Way
he
too risky.
saved himself a fortnight ago with those goals on the line. He could not save himself on the weekend.
He scored 45.
Yeah. That's less than he had at three-quarter time, I think, too.
Wow.
Kai wants to know Darcy. Don't know which one. Probably the ruck, as in Darcy Cameron.
I reckon.
Out to Gone, Baslenka, or Gus Brayshaw. Got an option across all lines.
Roy?
It's a tough one.
It's gotta be
I think
Max.
it's Max.
It's got to be.
I like Bailey Smith, what he'll do the rest of the year, but I probably would just go Max.
And we've got both of them ahead of Brayshaw anyway.
Jacob's wanting to know then Baslenka or Junk Time Duncan. It's got to be Baslenka.
Too right.
There's got to be a worry that Duncan does get a rest.
Baz by a country mile there. You can put your feet up for the week, mate, if that's your only choice to make.
Yep. Angus Brayshaw, though, last week, 32 touches, no marks against Collingwood.
Yeah, he can't get a mark in the midfield.
Unbelievable.
He gets his marks down back. That's why, even though you should not listen to a word we say, we did flag his access to points at half back.
Yep.
For him, are easier than access to his points in the midfield.
Bit
He
like
had to work for him in the mid.
Like a Jaden Short.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Now, N. Boykus wants to know Gone or Marshall for Cameron? Roy, you're Marshall ahead, aren't you?
I am.
I am as well.
But I think
Yep.
they're both great. But, yeah, I am still Marshall ahead.
So Marshall's had 3 games now as a solo ruck.
Yeah.
And he's averaging 130 with that. That's pretty good.
Huge.
Anthony wants to know, legends, the hamstring coin flip, Hall or Zorko? Zorko nets an extra 93K for next week.
Right, if you're looking at it for next week, I kind of want to live for the moment at the moment, not worry about carrying over coin and stuff like that.
Yep.
I want you to maximise points this week, which I should have probably done myself.
You're saying Hall?
I think I'm saying Hall.
Okay.
I think his ceiling smashes Zorko's ceiling.
Agree. Yeah, it definitely does.
It could get you the win.
Yep. Go the Hall.
Now, Aidan has asked this one. Laird's 9th 120 in a row. No one in history has 7 in a row. How many does he need to get a snout? Does he need a 2023 in similar vein to 2022? No, he doesn't have the numbers in the past, but as a defender, surely that's an allowance for going a little under that.
And that's a great
great
flag,
point.
Great flag by you. But then are we to reward him for never earning his spot in the midfield quicker? You know, there's a lot of questions and a lot of ways you can look at it. There are different ways to the snout, though. They don't have to be all the same path. No. And setting a record like that is something that can be your avenue to an earlier snouting. Now, personally, I feel like we need like a 120 average next year, and we just need...
If he's doing that at the buys, I'll have probably... I won't say no problem, but he will be very close in my eyes.
I agree.
Because last year he averaged 119.55 from round 12 onwards last year.
He did.
So we just need that to continue into next year, really, and be the safe as a house that he is at the moment, to put the C on him and not have any worries ever. As the ball's bounced, you're never concerned your captain is playing.
No.
If it's him. If that can continue, like you said, Dog, to win the buys next year, well, there could be a little nose coming his way.
Yeah, I'm with you. It can't be at the end of this year. We've only seen... So if he gets through the next couple of weeks and dominates again, then we've seen a year and a half.
Like we're experiencing at the moment, without a doubt, 9 weeks of what it feels like when we have Rocky, Swanee, Mitchell playing properly in his proper role. That's what we're feeling. That's the feelings that he is giving everyone at the moment.
The other thing here is I'm looking at his scores.
How did it feel this week? Because you've only owned him for 1 week.
Exactly like I said, no sweat. He's just like, well, that's all right.
A couple of things he needs to do better. One, he needs to mark.
If he does, that's where he can boost those scores a fair bit.
That's when he becomes that next level guy.
No.
Yes, he gave us a 160 the other day, but we're not getting those real ceiling
that's
scores.
That's the only game he's gone over 140. Okay, so...
This is a problem.
Because that's a pig factor.
That is the pig. So you need to take more marks, and that'll get your 130s up to those big 150s that we want.
Rory knows He knows all this. He's
He's
a smart piglet.
Yeah.
And that could come into his game. At the moment, it's not part of his game.
No,
the
he's not
marking.
interested.
He's
Contest
more
to contest.
than capable
Yeah.
of doing it. And like what you said, though, setting records is part of getting the snout.
Yep.
9 weeks in a row
Yes.
of 120 plus.
Yep.
That's phenomenal.
Yep.
So don't get me wrong. He's getting very, very close. But if he starts increasing his
Been doing
marking
tours
game...
of the pigsty.
Oh, without a doubt he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see a couple more 140s.
Couple more 140s.
Yep.
Continue being this reliable beast.
Yep.
If that marking game comes in,
Look
that
out.
is fully snouted.
Agree.
Jeremy, why do I always waste so much time on fantasy just for my team to end up not very good? You guys are legends, though, and make it all worth it.
Do you want to answer that one, Roy?
Why does it
See you at the pub, mate. Mad Monday.
Right, Manny, what rank did you all finish on last year? And what's the highest overall rank you've ever finished on?
I think I'm back-to-back bad rankings, actually.
Actually,
I
last
need
year
to
I've
pull
got them
my
here.
head out.
Yeah, we've had bad ones.
Yeah.
Calvin was the best of us last year with a
Jeez.
1,300.
Let's go, boys.
I'm actually going to switch on next year.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable
You said that
behaviour.
last
Did
year.
I?
Yes.
But we can talk about high ones.
2 years off.
2015, Roy, you knocked out a 127.
That's solid, I guess.
Oh, it was a 137 in 2018.
That's good.
Calvin,
I wouldn't be anywhere near that.
what's your best? Since 2014, Calvin, you might beat it this year.
Come on, you!
771st has been your best.
You can do that.
Okay. Can't even remember that. Couldn't even remember what I had for breakfast, though, so that doesn't really mean anything either, does it?
Just don't do a 2019 cow. 10,600.
Yeah, but that was the point where I was like,
I
okay,
could push that.
I'm struggling here. And then I was like,
Challenge accepted.
few Hail Marys.
Yeah.
You don't die wondering, Roy.
Oh, I won't. I'll try to get out there with you.
Good.
Well, looks like I top scored for the round overall as well. Some bloody bloke here, Michael, who's got me as his profile picture.
Michael!
On fantasy, he's Turks and Dacos Islands.
Don't you need permission to use other people's photos?
I don't know.
Michael, I hope you've talked to Mr. Dog about that.
NFT my head. People can bloody buy it.
I don't get that NFT
I
stuff.
don't understand it either.
I could suck you into it, I reckon, Cal. I could
God,
sell
I was
that to you,
wondering
I
where you were
reckon.
going with that. Now, so what? Who owns that picture of you?
Yeah, I don't know. I do. Therefore, he can pay me royalties or something like
What
that.
does he
Is
get
that
for
how
winning the
NFT
round,
works?
dog?
A prize?
What?
I don't know what it is.
Tell him
a
to
good
send-
one.
Send
on
it to
him.
you.
Look after me.
He gets to keep that photo.
You could come and look after at me and buy me a beer, maybe, when we're in Melbourne
Oh,
in round
yes,
23.
yes.
So head along to the venue, which is yet to be determined.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
going to be told that at some point
I'm
soon.
sussing them out, dog.
Hey, you're sussing them
I'm
out.
sussing out a venue.
Right. Do we know that beers are sold at the venue? We're
Yes.
not just going to meet at a park or
No,
something.
no, it's not going to be
Watch it on our phones.
Not going to be Calvin.
a park, a walk around
He's
the
not,
park.
Calvin's not allowed within 500 metres of parks these days. So.
Is that because of his mo? That dirty
That is a
mo.
bad looking mo at the moment.
Sound the alarm.
We'll have details on social. We'll probably hopefully have details on Thursday night when we are live for AFL Fantasy Live, which you can stream via our Facebook page, but probably a better place to go is afl.com.au and the AFL Live app, where we'll talk through the round 22 teams, boys.
22 teams.
That's the second last weekend
Wow.
of this thing that we call fun.
It's stretching it. It's stretching it.
You guys should be enjoying yourself. You got a
Prelim
good
final
team.
time. Yeah.
I hate
Prelim
my
finals.
team. Like I hate
Yeah.
them.
You beauty. Thanks for
done.
tuning in. We'll talk to you Thursday.
So they are.
All right, see ya.